So Tara's come in. Her and I, we worked together one-to-one, and she came and was part of the Living Abundance Mastermind. And then she was one of our Living Abundance Mastermind coaches. And she's really been deep in the work, living and breathing. And she is now one of my best friends. And so it's an absolute pleasure to introduce you to Tara. And I'd love Tara to share a little bit about her journey because it's a powerful one. And just before we do that, I'm going to let's introduce you. Beautiful love. So Tara Jackson is a business guide for empath entrepreneurs. She works with color alchemy, deep regressions, and visualizations, all linked to the chakras to release and clear business blocks, as well as to align with their creative power. She is the author of 4 books. She's birthed 4 books: Embodied, Embodied Business, Embodied Creation, and Embodied Wealth, and the Embodied Wisdom Oracle deck, or Oracle card deck. Amazing. How wonderful. And I love it because I think book 1 was birthed during the Living Abundance Mastermind, which is amazing. So welcome, darling. Thanks for joining us today.
Thanks for having me.
So what I would love you to do, and I know it's kind of funny after we sort of keep evolving and growing with this work, but shall we cast back to when we first met and where you were at in your life and your work? Would you be able to share a little bit about where you were before all these books started birthing?
Yeah, before all the embodied books came out, basically.
Yeah.
I was basically not very embodied, hence the embodiment books. I was really, I was kind of in a life that I knew I didn't want to be in. I was working in many jobs I disliked just to get by. I was self-sabotaging, drinking a lot, eating a lot, just lots of sort of self-harming patterns and behaviors, and just knowing that I was here to do more, to be more, to give more, and just really not following through on anything I wanted to do and be. So it was just these patterns of kind of going around in circles, knowing I needed to go deeper, needing more healing, and just sort of felt a bit all over the place, to be honest. And and then started working with you, and the process began, the journey began, like really going deep. Yeah,
I remember we met at a networking event, and it was just like we were both in a, oh my God, we're supposed to work together, weren't we? It was just a knowing. And what was sort of going through your mind? Like, where were you at, I guess, in terms of like before you come in to make an investment in your work around money and abundance and your purpose? What was going on for you around that, if you can even remember now, because I know it was a little while back when we're making that transition? Like, where were you? What was going through your mind at that time, if you can remember?
just this knowing that I needed support, I needed help, I needed someone to hold me. I mean, but that was like scary as fuck, like just admitting that. And also saying yes to that. The money, oh my God, can I invest in myself? Can I do this? I don't actually have the money. Where the hell's it going to come from? But oh my God, I know I need this. I can feel that I can soften and let go a bit if I'm held, but holy shit, like it's too much going on. Yeah, it was really hard to kind of accept that, lean into that, but knowing I needed it. So this kind of dance between the two, which I'm sure people relate to, and just really, accepting that and allowing myself to receive that, I think is the biggest thing.
Yeah, amazing. And I remember, like, because I remember being, I don't know, but you've learned, as I have, to follow that inner knowing, right? That inner calling, even when it seems crazy, even when you don't quite know how, if there's this sort of deep knowing, it's right. And what did happen? Because you were like, I didn't know where the money was coming from. I think you had the first month, and then did the money show up?
It did, indeed. It all did. Yes, I know. And that's it. It's just really trusting and knowing and leaning into it, and the money did come. I mean, I manifested, I think it was 10 grand, I think, in that mastermind space. And it's kind of been a journey since then as you go into the next levels and deeper and things, but it did come, and it supported me. And like literally, when I was thinking, oh my God, I can't do this, I can't even pay you, I'm gonna have to pull out and stuff like that. And it did come, and it's invited me into deeper levels, basically, through that journey. Yeah.
Yeah, and what else happened for you in our well, actually, what I would like to say, because Tara and I were working together one to one, and she was there with the birth of the Living Abundance Mastermind, actually, which was pretty amazing. Um, so it was this beautiful thing where you actually started holding space. We were kind of, in a way, birthing it in, weren't we? This body of work. And then you're like, oh my God, Laura, I'm supposed to join this mastermind. And so you were like the first sign up, which was amazing. What was some of the things that happened for you, particularly in that first round? What started to land in for you?
I think it was the catalyst for so much change in my life. I think it really invites you into yourself, into your truth, more of who you are here to be. And for me, that my journey, as you were sharing earlier, my journey was a shedding of so much stuff, the patterns, the behaviors, the addictions, things like that, followed by, a lot of that sort of started to kind of melt away a bit during the 6 months that I was in the space, when it was a 6-month space. And then, but like I said, it was a catalyst for so much more. And that was, relationship, long-term relationship ending, moving, leaving London after 20 years, moving back to my home in Kenya, letting go of all the jobs, starting to let go of so much stuff, just to then kind of come back to me and start to align with, my truth, who I am here to be, and show up more powerfully in the world, and, all the other things that have come around that. So it was really just like, yeah, that point, I think, where it was like, all right, I'm going all in, I'm doing this, and let's just see what that brings up. And as you know, oh my God, it's been quite a ride, an ongoing ride. But yeah, it's incredible too. Absolutely incredible. Yeah. So that's
And also, in case people are scared of all the letting go, what had started landing in is you landed your first book, right? You wrote your first copy, first book, and then a whole new body of your work came through, right? Which was this embodied business, and all this amazing stuff started coming in and landing in. I remember you just started going ding, 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 right? And it's like this whole new. You've written 4 books now,
I
which
know.
I think is extraordinary. And yeah, this beautiful, beautiful body of work that you're here, and as it's still obviously growing and evolving, but it's pretty amazing. It's been a privilege and honor to witness you
Thank you. I
grow.
mean, yeah, even the Oracle card deck, we talked about that in the very
Yeah.
beginning, and I could see
Mhm.
it, envision it, but I wasn't doing it. So a lot of this is, the shedding has been, and then taking, really holding myself through that, the inner child work, really deeper levels of healing, so that I do take action and do the things I say I'm going to do and know I want to do and have been visioning. And I know you said earlier, if I knew it was going to take as long as it did, I would be like, what the hell? And I relate to that massively. But it's been absolutely incredible too. Just
Mm.
there's no other way now. Once you commit to doing it this way, I mean, it's intense at times. Absolutely, there can be real deep holding needed and stuff, but the rewards are far greater than anything I've ever experienced when I was in a normal job and doing that way. No way, there's no going back for me.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Mm.
Yeah, that's it. It's very confronting when we're letting go of things. And you were, for example, it was right for you to release your relationship, but and one of the things, just to say, like, the opposite of that was, I always thought my biggest fear was that if I keep going, my relationship will end. We had little kids, and I had this really big belief that that was literally destined to happen. But actually, what I know now is that was my trauma wound and protection, that I couldn't have it all. Like, I either be me and I lose everything. The only one thing I was like, I remember bargaining with the universe, being like, I will not leave my kids, because that's, what happened to me. And I was like, I will not leave my children. Like, if you ask me to leave my children, that is like not going to happen. I remember feeling like I was like this fight with the universe or God or whatever. And just amazing to think I even thought that that's what I had to do. Right? There's this fear, so much fear. And actually what happened to me was the opposite, right? Where part of me wanted to bail and run away. It was like, no, lean in. This is not done yet. This relationship is not done yet. And it's ended up turning into like my dream relationship, But it doesn't always mean what our fears don't always, it's not always what we fear is going to happen. And we don't always know. And I think the fear of the unknown keeps us really, really stuck. I know that we can take things one step at a time, right? One step at a time. So Beautiful. Is there anything else you'd like to share? Because obviously you then moved on after you'd finished your time in the mastermind as a client. You came in as a coach and you've been holding space for the beautiful participants in Living Abundance Mastermind. Is there anything you'd like to share about what you've seen, what you've witnessed, anything that would be helpful for people kind of exploring whether they'd like to join us in this space?
I mean, just from my experience in coaching, some of the incredible people I did get the honor of coaching was just that the people you meet in this space. It's just like real soul heart connections that I think I've been yearning for my entire life. Like even as a coach and meeting them, it's just like, yes, oh my God, you get it. You're so on the same page. There's so much alignment and we're all doing this around the globe. And it's this wonderful kind of web of people who are trying to be more, do more, be more themselves and show up in the world authentically. And it's so fulfilling and such an honor to be a part of it, definitely.
Yeah, it really is soul work, isn't it? Soul food. It's soul food, these connections. It's incredible. It's incredible. And thank you for being a beautiful space holder. Absolutely gorgeous and for sharing. Is there any other words of wisdom you'd like to share with us before we close today, darling?
I just, if you know if this path is for you, you just do and just trust that, I think, and then dive in and enjoy it. Yeah.
We'll be here to meet you on the other side. Thank you so much for taking your precious time to come and talk to us. And Tara's will be in the retreat Facebook group as well if you want to connect with her there. And that's the same with anyone I've been interviewing. We're on the group. Come and say hello. Come and network. Come and connect. Thank you, darling Tara, for your time. Thank you for being here.